think we're live. It looks like we're live. Okay. Is everybody ready? There's Ed Kelly. There's Andrew Rivers. We have Andrew Rivers as a special guest. We have Spike O'Neill as a special guest. We also have a guitar legend, an international guitar hero named Adam Baum. And he may not be a household name, but he's done some pretty cool stuff. And I actually remember this guy from back in our KISW days. What's weird is Zip, who's the guy who's in video production for a living, can't get his camera to work.
It's the mechanic's car that never runs well, right?
Adam Baum, who should only know how to plug in a guitar cord, was the first guy here with the video working perfectly.
And well.
And Andrew Rivers, of course, really looking like a potential member of a Guns N' Roses tribute band.
Yeah.
That hair keeps getting longer.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's a dream I had. I wished I had ever grown mine that long. I would have, however, been.
That's my old hair and my old apartment.
Is it really? That's funny.
Well, when I cut it, I'll make a wig for you so you can.
Yeah.
Is the hair going to be sold? Is that the plan?
I don't know. I don't know if I have a specific plan. I want to make it to July because I'm gonna try and record another special in July because that'll be 2 years from when I recorded my last special, and then the hair will be literally a measurement of time, so I can look. I mean, because I can look back at old videos and go, "Oh, I've been telling that joke since right here, and now I'm down to here. I gotta get some new stuff going."
Now, is part of this that you were always telling me that there were it's way more opportunities for female comedians now, and you wanted to from the back, you wanted them to think that maybe you deserved a break.
They, thems, any ambiguous racial,
Racial who?
anything I can do to help the career.
All right, we're officially underway. Zip is not here yet, but assured me he'd be here any second. On the show today, here are the topics. The guaranteed foolproof way to lose an argument every time. Do this and you will fail. Bob and Lisa drive 500 miles to see the grandkids.
500 miles, 500
And I would drive 500 miles.
And I would 500 more.
Zip wants to talk about things that used to be illegal that are increasingly becoming legal.
Especially in Canada. Vancouver. Heroin. Dens. You're allowed legally to bring your kit and cook. Under
Kit meaning
your heroin, your
Breaking Bad?
Yeah, as in, Jesse, we have a cook.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to that when Zip gets on. The obvious ones are pot and gambling, which are now legal in more places. Are these changes good? What else is illegal that could be legalized? Brainstorm that one, folks, and you can text them to us anytime during the live broadcast. What should be legal that is not yet legal? And what's legal that maybe we should pull it back? Also, Ed Kelly met a lady in a thrift store. Mm-hmm. It's a fascinating story. We're going to get to that. Spike talks about how creativity won the day in Super Bowl ads. And what would Jesus say about his ad?
What would Jesus say?
Would he think it was worth $7 million? We'll find out. Special guest Adam Brenner, Adam Baum, that I mentioned earlier, international guitar hero. He's touring the U.S. and Europe and has a string of upcoming shows in Seattle. He is standing by. We'll get to him in a little bit. And then Spike should join us in 8 or 9 minutes. And Zip should already be here.
By the way, Adam Baum is a great rock name.
Oh, yeah. And it's A-D-A-M, like Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
I'll bring this up. Did you, Andrew, you're a football fan. Did you watch the Super Bowl yesterday?
Yes, I did.
So even football fans watched it.
See that?
What did you think? I'm going to say first of the game, but then I'm going to say the commercials, because the game will be forgotten in a week. Commercials might last a month or so because they're going to keep playing them.
I didn't see any commercials that were breaking into the top of all time necessarily. It seemed like pretty ho-hum commercials. the game was very fun. Everyone's complaining about the referees,
Yes.
and
think
I
they
think
should.
that they're right because I don't think they messed up the call, but I think the refs are getting too old.
And fat.
We have referees that are in their 23rd season. That's when
Ageism.
players retire.
You do know we can hear you if we turn up our hearing aids.
yeah. Well, I mean, we're asking them to officiate a very complicated game, and
Yes.
we changed the rules mid-season. We changed the rules every other season.
Old people can't adapt, Bob. You know that.
I mean, this guy sets his watch to make sure he takes his medicine on time every night, and we need to make sure that this is the guy in charge of seeing if the red player was over the line by an inch
Well,
to determine a billion-dollar play. I mean, this guy was in the league before black people could play sports. I'm just saying times have maybe changed.
I love the perspective he brings.
I mean, they need to look when there's like an important play, they run over and they have to stop. They have to break up fights, and we're asking our grandpa to play a security guard.
Those guys could
they
kill
run
them.
like they played. They run like the players will run in 20 years when their hips are dislocated from high impact collisions 20 times a day.
Yeah, no
But
kidding.
you don't really notice it until you see them try to waddle to the ball and.
They've got a high ankle injury.
So just as there is for airline pilots, you think there should be a mandatory retirement age for the
Yeah.
referees?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised we haven't had one of those guys collapse on the field. You know, someone get the card out. The referee throw out his back, picking up a challenge flag.
He swallowed his whistle.
Andrew probably didn't even watch the commercials. Did you watch the commercials?
A little bit. You know what I do? My new. I bought a weighted vest, and I have a pull-up bar so that when I'm sedentary, every time there's a commercial, which is about 8 to 10 minutes, every 8 to 10 minutes or so, I just get up and I do 10 pull-ups, and then by the end of the game, I've done 150 pull-ups, and trying to stay in shape over here.
Sedentary.
Well,
That's 4 syllables. That's unusual.
Thanks,
Let's
man.
bring on someone who can't do one pull-up and probably did watch the commercials. Oops. Oh, he just cut out. I had Spike there for just a second. All right, he'll be back. So there were a number of commercials that were. I agree with you, Andrew. That for the most part,
Underwhelming.
it was kind of lackluster. Yeah.
Steve Martin, though, and what's his name?
Oh, look at you, Spike. You got to turn your phone sideways. This is live. You're not. Your audio isn't working.
He sounds like a Martian.
You sound like a Martian. Yeah.
Yeah, a little robotic there. Yeah.
Are you using the same earbuds you always use? Hooked up the same way?
That's weird.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something really stupid. Reboot your phone. Do a hard reboot. We'll see you in a few minutes. Bye. It fixes 99%.
I know.
Of,
You
know.
look. If you want to earn some extra money, I'm sure Comcast is looking for new phone operators, and you appear to have the same training as they do.
Sure.
So.
All right. Well, he'll be back. He's going to talk about what he thought was creative. I'll tell you what I thought. There was one ad that, only one ad that was memorable to me.
Which one?
It was the ad that basically imagined what the world would be like if one different thing had happened at the beginning of civilization, the beginning of humanity. Now, Andrew was busy doing pull-ups. By the way, I totally think that's brilliant that you use the commercial time to better yourself. And
Well, they're putting ice cream and Snickers bars and alcohol and Budweiser. You know, it's like
yeah.
everything I can do to combat that negativity coming through my
No,
screen.
it's funny. Like they're going to advertise stuff that's bad for me. I'm just going to do pull-ups.
Yeah.
So this was an ad. I'll give you a hint, and maybe no one else but me loved it. It was an ad for something that's good for you.
Well,
My
it can't
most-
be the U2 album.
Wasn't gambling.
It wasn't gambling. It wasn't an electric car that's not coming out for 2 years.
Jesus? Was it Jesus? Was it the Jesus ad?
I would argue that
Or if it's
Jesus is
debatable.
Yeah, I would argue that Jesus is good for you. I wouldn't argue that he was behind the branding.
Okay.
Yes.
It was an ad for guacamole. Did anybody remember seeing it?
See, in Canada, you get a different set of ads. You don't get